The Constitution of Ghana spells out in plain language when the President of the Republic of Ghana must do when Parliament passes a bill and present to His Excellency the President. The President must assent to the bill or must refuse to assent to the bill when it is presented to him as the President of the Republic. These are the only options, and in this case, there is no middle ground at all per the constitutional imperative. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also say that in the instance case of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, President Akufo-Addo has taken a strange and alien position, which is unknown to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Given that Parliament has been injuncted in a matter of the President's nominee for the position of ministers and deputy ministers, it is obvious that this Honorable House is also unable and cannot approve those ministerial nominees His Excellency the President has also presented to Parliament. At this point, the President may have to be innovative, dynamic, and think out of the box by downsizing the size of his government. Let me say that merely piling on numbers by way of appointing ministers and deputy ministers does not signal to the people of Ghana that the President understands the seriousness of the mess that he and his government has created in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also say that this may be a good time for President Akufo-Addo to listen to the feedback about the size of his government. At the very least, the two top political parties, namely the NDC and the MPP, agree to downsize government size the way forward. There is an urgent need to downsize the government in order to save the taxpayers from huge cost of running the government. Already, President Mahama has signaled that in his next government, he will not appoint more than 60 ministers. Interestingly, we are also aware that the Vice President, who was part of a government that appointed 125 ministers, has come around to also promise 50 ministers. So all what we are saying is that, may I ask, ladies and gentlemen from the media, what is the prudent justification for a Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, which with 2 deputy ministers and a Minister of State? Again, why do we have the same ministers and ministers of local government, 2 deputy ministers and a Minister of State at the Ministry of Local Government? Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by saying that the Right Honorable Speaker has made an important call, a call for Parliament to unite against the autocratic tendencies of our President and this government. We in the NDC minority is ready to protect the sanctity of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And we stand with the Speaker of Parliament in this. Let the President of Ghana and his government be aware that where this country is going is strange under his watch. And the NDC minority will not countenance it. But I want to urge that it is obvious that His Excellency the President has breached the Constitution, and we will advise ourselves. In the coming days, don't be surprised that we will begin impeachment proceedings against the President. Thank you very much.
So that is the minority news conference there being addressed by the leader of the minority side, Dr. Casey Alato-Forson. That's watching the Joy News Prime. Let's take you back to Parliament because there's another news conference which is underway and our cameras are already there. Let's take you there now.
Express certain views regarding certain matters before the Supreme Court of the land. which letter today Mr. Speaker had cause to respond to. Mr. Speaker expressed his disagreement regarding the content of the said letter. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker went beyond expressing this disagreement and rather pronounced judgment on what in his view was wrong. Mr. Speaker did not only stop there, he also used very unsavory words to describe Mr. President. We believe that in a democracy, we have a right to disagree on views expressed, but we do not have right to say things to denigrate another. This, we think, is very unacceptable. Now let me get into the main issue. Mr. Speaker said that Mr. President was undermining democracy and that he should have resorted to the Constitution in making certain communications to the House. We in the majority beg to disagree on the position taken by him. If you carefully read the letter that was sent to Parliament, Mr. President limited himself to the processes before the courts. And the fact that Parliament itself, through an affidavit, had joined issues. Parliament has filed an affidavit in opposition and is in court. In fact, Parliament is a party to the suit. So for us, we do not see how this would have to affect the proceedings of Parliament. In any event, Mr. Speaker has always deferred to the leadership of the House to guide him in the conduct of business. This morning, the leadership of the House sat together to discuss the various items to be taken. We have finished some of them. There were some that we were supposed to take, and we're told that Mr. Speaker would have to take the chair. It's very disappointing that after Mr. Speaker had made known his own views about the letter sent from the presidency to the clerk, he adjourned the House Synod without giving room for the leadership of the House to even comment. This we find very strange. But this is a democracy. We believe, as Mr. Speaker himself said, and I'll quote him, that this impasse calls for reflection. This impasse calls for reflection. I will play that out to Mr. Speaker himself, that we all need to reflect on the way forward as a nation. He said he was not going into the matter as that would undermine the outcome of same. But we all know that the very issue that was raised by Honorable Dafemepo had to do with the continuing ministers who had been reshuffled to other ministries. The issue of constitutionality of certain nominees had been determined by way of they going through the vetting process, a report coming before the House for debate and final decision. So for me, these are two unrelated issues. How can the Dafemepo raise an issue regarding a minister who has been transferred? Let's put it in that state, that a minister in one ministry has been moved to another ministry. And the words used by Mr. President was that he has relieved them of their portfolio and moving them to another ministry. How does that affect a situation where a nominee has been referred to a appointment committee? Appointment committee has vetted that person, brought a report, and you say that there's an injunction application pending. Therefore, such a situation cannot be considered by Parliament. This is bad faith. This is bad faith. Because you have two unrelated issues being conjoined to create a certain political effect. But again, since this is a chamber where we will do public business, we believe that we need to reflect on these issues and sit together as stakeholders in this politics to get things done. We will rest our case, but before, let me also express disappointment at the conduct of the minority. Is it the case that they were aware of what was going to happen? Is it the case that they would always see no evil and say no evil? Is it the case that they are in support of this action to obstruct government business? They should remember that the people of Ghana are watching. We have ministers who are supposed to manage ministries, to conduct public business for the benefit of the people of Ghana. What the minority has done today clearly shows that they are not on the side of democracy. Indeed, they want government business to come to a halt through their conduct, because they were nowhere ready to get us to even engage, Mr. Speaker. They were ready to park and get to their various cars and go home. Obviously, it is a political journey they are on. They want to explore the situation to their advantage, and we believe that the good people of Ghana at the right time will know that we as MPP in government stand for progress, development, and the betterment of our democracy. Thank you so much indeed. No questions, sir. Gentlemen and ladies, in certain situations, we would want to take questions. Please again, it is my position that we keep to the submission made so far without further questions. It does not amount to disrespect. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, leader. Thank you.
This is Kofi Sami TV. Subscribe on YouTube, Kofi Sami TV. Kofi Sami TV. Subscribe on YouTube, Kofi Sami.